You can't park here!
That's my truck!
You'll regret this!
At 4:50 in the morning, I walked outside for the most important meeting of my career, and my $80,000 construction truck was gone. Not stolen. Towed by my HOA president, the same woman whose community center my company had built 3 years earlier. She thought she was teaching me a lesson about rules. What she didn't know was that before the day ended, she'd be begging me to stop. My name's Marcus, and I've been running Rivera Construction for 15 years. We've built half the commercial buildings in this county, including the very HOA community center where this nightmare began. But I'm getting ahead of myself. 3 months ago, I bought a house in Meadowbrook Estates. Beautiful neighborhood, great schools for my kids, and the property values were climbing. My wife Sarah was thrilled. The commute to my main office? 20 minutes instead of an hour. Life was good. The HOA seemed normal at first. Monthly dues, basic rules about lawn maintenance, nothing crazy. The property manager, Jennifer, was pleasant during the walkthrough. "We're very community-focused here," she said with a smile. "Everyone follows the rules, and we all get along beautifully." Red flag number 1 that I completely missed. Week 1 was fine. I unpacked, set up the house, met a few neighbors. Bob across the street was a retired firefighter. Cool guy, warned me about the politics, but I brushed it off. Every HOA has drama, right? Week 2 is when I met her. Denise Whitmore, HOA president. 62 years old, platinum blonde hair sprayed into a helmet, and the kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes. She showed up at my door on a Tuesday evening, clipboard in hand. "Welcome to Meadowbrook," she chirped. "I'm Denise, your HOA president. Just doing a compliance check on new residents." "Compliance check?" I asked, confused. I haven't even finished unpacking. Her smile tightened. "Well, I noticed your vehicle situation." I glanced at my driveway. My personal SUV was parked there. My work truck, a heavy-duty Ford F-550 with Rivera Construction logos, was parked on the street in front of my house. Completely legal, not blocking anything. "What about it?" I asked. Denise flipped through her clipboard. Section 7, Paragraph 3 of the HOA bylaws states that commercial vehicles are prohibited from street parking between 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. I blinked. "It's a pickup truck." "It's a commercial vehicle," she corrected, tapping the clipboard. "Those decals make it commercial. Company vehicles belong in garages or off the property entirely. My 2-car garage was packed with moving boxes and my wife's car. I'll move it once I clear the garage. Give me a week. The rules apply immediately, Mr. Rivera. I'll need you to relocate it tonight." Now, I'm a patient guy. I deal with city inspectors, demanding clients, and subcontractors daily. But something about her tone, that condescending, "I'm in charge here" attitude, set my teeth on edge. "Ma'am, with all due respect, I own this property. I'll move my truck when it's convenient." Her expression went ice cold. "The HOA bylaws are legally binding, Mr. Rivera. I suggest you review them carefully. Consider this your first warning." She left, and I genuinely thought that was the end of it. Spoiler alert, it wasn't even the beginning. The next morning, there was a bright orange violation notice on my windshield. First violation: commercial vehicle street parking. Fine, $50. Repeat violations will result in escalating penalties. I crumpled it up and tossed it in my truck. $50? Whatever. I had a massive project starting, a 4-story medical complex downtown. My crew needed me, and I didn't have time for HOA nonsense. That week was insane. Concrete pours, electrical inspections, a structural engineer who kept changing specifications. I was working 14-hour days. My truck stayed parked on the street because, honestly, I forgot about it. Friday evening, I came home to find 2 orange notices. $50 became $100, then $200. Saturday morning, my neighbor Bob knocked on my door. "Hey Marcus, just a heads up, Denise has been photographing your truck every morning. She's documenting everything." "Seriously?" I laughed. "It's a parking spot." Bob didn't laugh back. "She got the Hendersons evicted last year over a fence height dispute. She doesn't mess around." "Evicted? From a house they own?" "Liens," Bob explained. "Unpaid HOA fines become liens. She foreclosed on them." "I'm telling you, man, don't underestimate her." I thanked Bob, but still didn't take it seriously enough. Big mistake. The following Tuesday, I had the most important meeting of my career. The hospital board was deciding between my company and two competitors for a $12 million expansion project. This was legacy-building work, the kind of project that sets you up for life. I set my alarm for 4:45 a.m. The meeting was at 7:30, and I needed to load blueprints, material samples, and presentation boards for my truck. 4:50 a.m., I walked outside in the dark, coffee in hand. My truck was gone, not stolen. Towed. I stood there in my driveway, coffee cup frozen halfway to my lips, staring at the empty curb where $80,000 of equipment and my entire future should have been parked. Taped to my mailbox was a neon pink notice. Vehicle towed for HOA violation. Contact Meadowbrook Towing, 555-0147. Towing fee, $350. Storage, $75 per day. My hand started shaking. Not from cold, from pure, white-hot rage. I called the towing company. Yeah, we got a Rivera truck here, the dispatcher said, bored. You can pick it up after 8 a.m. Cash only. I need it now. I shouted. I have a meeting in 2 hours. Can't help you, buddy. Owner's not here until 8. Company policy. I called Denise. Straight to voicemail. I called the property manager, Jennifer. Voicemail. I called every HOA board member listed on the website. Nothing. Sarah came outside. What's wrong? They towed my truck. I was pacing, running hands through my hair. The hospital meeting, all my materials are in there. The blueprints, the samples, everything. Can you reschedule? No. The board's flying back to Austin this afternoon. This is it. This is the only shot. Sarah grabbed my shoulders. Then go to the meeting. Explain what happened. They'll understand. I showed up to that hospital boardroom with nothing but my laptop and desperation. The other contractors had elaborate displays, physical samples, bound presentations. I had PowerPoint slides and apologies. Mr. Rivera, the board chairman said slowly, we expected a more professional presentation. Understand, sir. There was an unforeseen circumstance this morning. Your competitors didn't have unforeseen circumstances. I didn't get the contract. $12 million. Gone. Because of a $50 parking fine I ignored. I picked up my truck at 8:15 a.m. $425 in cash, handed over to a smirking tow yard operator. Every minute of that transaction, I imagined Denise's face. This wasn't over. Not even close. That evening, I did something I should have done weeks ago. I actually read the HOA bylaws. All 73 pages. And buried in Section 12, subsection E, I found something interesting. All HOA expenditures exceeding $500 require majority board approval. Unauthorized towing without board vote constitutes a breach of fiduciary duty. Denise had acted alone. I smiled for the first time in 12 hours. Then I made a phone call to my lawyer, Tom Chen. We'd worked together for years on construction contracts. Tom, I need you to pull the incorporation documents from Meadowbrook Estates HOA. Every single filing, every tax record, everything. What's going on, Marcus? Just trust me. I need to know who really owns this HOA. 2 days later, Tom called back. Marcus, you're not going to believe this. Try me. The HOA was established in 1997 by Rivera Development Group. My heart stopped. Rivera Development? Your uncle's company. He developed the entire subdivision. And according to the master deed, the development company retains permanent voting control as long as they maintain ownership of Lot 47. What's on Lot 47? The community center, which is still titled under Rivera Development Group, LLC. Marcus, on paper, you don't just live in this HOA. Tom paused for dramatic effect. You own it. I sat in Tom's office, staring at the documents spread across his mahogany desk like I was looking at a winning lottery ticket written in legal jargon. Say that again, I whispered, slowly. Tom grinned. Your uncle Carlos established Rivera Development Group in 1995. He built Meadowbrook Estates from scratch, all 247 homes. When he incorporated the HOA, he inserted a clause that gives the development company permanent oversight authority. As long as Rivera Development owns the community center property, they control the HOA board. But my uncle sold his company 10 years ago when he retired to Costa Rica. He sold the home building operation. Tom corrected, sliding another document toward me. He kept Rivera Development Group as a shell company specifically to maintain ownership of that one property. And when he restructured last year for tax purposes, Tom pointed to a signature line. My signature. You transfer it to yourself? I asked, confused. Don't you remember? Your uncle called you last March. Said he needed to update some paperwork for estate planning. You signed as the new managing member of Rivera Development Group, LLC. The memory hit me like a freight train. Uncle Carlos had called while I was on a job site. Mijo, just some boring legal stuff. Sign where the lawyer tells you. Help your old uncle out. I'd sign without reading it, trusting family. Holy hell. So what does this actually mean? I asked. Tom leaned back in his leather chair. It means Denise Whitmore has been operating as HOA president under authority she doesn't actually have. Every fine she's issued, every rule she's enforced, every towing she's authorized, technically requires your approval as the majority stakeholder. Can we reverse the fines? Better than that. Tom's smile turned predatory. We can dissolve the current board entirely and restructure. Legally, you have unilateral authority to replace every board member, including the president. I felt something dangerous rising in my chest. Not just anger anymore. Justice. Set up a board meeting, I said quietly. Official. Recorded. I want Denise and every board member there. When? I checked my watch. Tomorrow. 6 p.m. The community center. Tom raised an eyebrow. That's aggressive. You sure you don't want to think this through? I've thought about nothing else since I watched $12 million drive away in someone else's truck. Send the notices. Legal requirement is 24 hours, right? Correct. Then tomorrow it is. The next day, crawl by like molasses. I couldn't focus on work. My foreman handled the day's concrete pour while I sat in my office, reading and rereading HOA bylaws, practicing what I'd say. Sarah came by at lunch. You look like you're planning a murder. Something better, I said. I'm planning total annihilation. She kissed my forehead. Don't do anything stupid. Define stupid. Anything that ends with you in handcuffs. I laughed. I promise. This is 100% legal. Just extremely satisfying. At 5:45 p.m., I arrived at the Meadowbrook Estates Community Center. The building I'd literally built with my own crew back in 2008, though I didn't know Uncle Carlos owned the land at the time. The irony was delicious. Denise was already there, setting up folding chairs with two other board members, Margaret, the treasurer, and Steve, the secretary. All three looked annoyed. Mr. Rivera, Denise said icily, I received your lawyer's meeting notice. This is highly irregular. Board meetings require a 2-week notice to homeowners. Emergency meetings require 24 hours, I corrected. Section 9, paragraph 2. I've complied with all bylaws. Her jaw tightened. What's this about? If you're here to complain about the towing, I suggest you. I'm here to discuss HOA governance. Shall we begin? By 6 o'clock, about 30 homeowners had shown up, curious about the sudden meeting. Bob gave me a thumbs up from the back row. A few others whispered, probably expecting me to get steamrolled. Denise called the meeting to order with her usual self-importance. We have an unexpected agenda item from Mr. Rivera. Make it quick. I stood up, walked to the front, and connected my laptop to the projector. Thank you, Denise. I'll start with a simple question. Who here knows the actual ownership structure of this HOA? Silence. Anyone? No. I clicked to the first slide. Let me educate you. The projection showed the original 1997 incorporation documents. Meadowbrook Estates HOA was established by Rivera Development Group, which built this entire community. The founding documents state that the development company retains majority voting control through perpetual ownership of this community center property. Denise stood up. This is irrelevant ancient history. Sit down, Denise. I'm not finished. Something in my tone made her actually sit. I clicked to the next slide. The current property deed. This community center is owned by Rivera Development Group, LLC. The managing member, as of March 2024, is Marcus Antonio Rivera. Confused murmurs rippled through the room. That's me, I clarified. I own the legal entity that controls this HOA. Denise went pale. Actually pale. Margaret started frantically flipping through a folder. You're lying. Denise sputtered. The board has operated independently for decades. Incorrectly, Tom stood up from the audience. Tom Chun, attorney at law. Everything Mr. Rivera is presenting is legally documented and verified. Your board has been operating under assumed authority. Steve, the secretary, raised his hand timidly. So what does this mean? I clicked to the next slide. A list of every fine Denise had issued in the past 18 months. $47,000 in total. It means every fine issued without majority stakeholder approval is invalid. It means every towing authorization was unauthorized. It means, Denise, I locked eyes with her. You've been running a dictatorship on property you don't actually control. The room erupted. Homeowners who've been fined for mailbox colors, garden gnomes, Christmas decorations past January 1st, they all started shouting questions. Denise's face went from pale to crimson. This is a coup. You can't just waltz in here and... Actually, I can. I clicked to the final slide. As majority stakeholder, I'm exercising my authority under Section 11 to call for an immediate vote of no confidence in the current board. That's not legal. Denise shrieked. Tom stood again. It absolutely is. Would you like me to cite the specific statute? Denise looked around desperately, like someone might save her. Nobody moved, all in favor of dissolving the current HOA board. I asked. Every single hand went up. Even Margaret and Steve raised theirs, probably hoping to save themselves. Motion passes unanimously. The board is dissolved effective immediately. Denise didn't leave quietly. You'll regret this, she screamed, grabbing her purse. I've been president for 11 years. This community needs structure, needs rules. Without me, this place will fall apart. Bob called from the back. We'll take our chances. Laughter filled the room. Denise stormed toward the exit, then spun around one last time. And what about you, Mr. Rivera? You think you're better? You'll just become the next dictator. I smiled. Actually, Denise, I'm appointing an interim board tonight. Elections will be held next month. Open nominations, transparent voting. You know, actual democracy. And the fines, someone called out. Refunded in full within 30 days. Every unauthorized fine Denise issued is voided. Cheers erupted. Denise stood in the doorway, shaking with rage, watching her empire crumble in real time. Oh, and Denise, I added, about my truck. She froze. The unauthorized towing cost me a $12 million contract. My lawyer will be contacting you personally about restitution. You authorized that tow as HOA president, a position you never legally held. That makes it theft of services, possibly fraud. Her eyes went wide. You can't. Already did. Check your mailbox tomorrow. You'll find a lawsuit. Tom waved a folder cheerfully. Already filed. Denise stumbled out of the community center, and I swear I heard her sobbing in the parking lot. 3 months later, Meadowbrook Estates had a new board. Bob became president. Turns out a retired fire chief knows a thing or two about leadership. The new rules? Simple. Reasonable. Actually voted on by residents. We repealed the commercial vehicle ban. My truck parks wherever I want now. Denise settled the lawsuit out of court for $85,000. Didn't cover the lost contract, but watching her write that check? Priceless. The kicker? 2 weeks after the meeting, I got a call from the hospital board. The contractor they'd chosen had failed inspections. Major structural issues. Mr. Rivera, we'd like to revisit your proposal. Can you start immediately? I got the contract after all. $12 million, plus a 5-year maintenance agreement. And every single day, I drive past that community center, the one I built, the one I own, the one that saved my life, I smile. Because karma isn't just real. Sometimes, you are the karma.